major announcement today on what may be the most divisive issue in all of northern Minnesota. The Biden administration signed an order blocking mining in the Boundary Waters Canoe Area watershed for the next 20 years.
That includes 350 square miles in the Superior National Forest and the Rainy River watershed. This decision today directly impacts Twin Metals. That company has proposed building an underground copper-nickel mine southeast of Ely near Birch Lake, which flows into the Boundary Waters.
That mine has been moving through the regulatory process for years, and it's been at the center of political turmoil. In its final weeks, the Obama administration chose not to renew Twin Metals' 2 leases. The Trump administration quickly reversed that decision. Then Biden became president and pulled the leases again, announcing a federal review of mining in that region, leading us to today's announcement. Northern News Now's Cara Kopp has been following this news for us.
Cara, why did the Biden administration make this move today?
Thanks, Dan and Briggs. Secretary of Interior Deb Haaland signed the order saying protecting the Boundary Waters is key to supporting a healthy watershed and wildlife, upholding tribal trust, and boosting local recreation economy. Haaland added she made the decision to protect the BWCA for future generations, saying she used the, quote, best available science and extensive public input in making the decision. An environmental group dedicated to preserving the Boundary Waters held a news conference shortly after the decision today. Saving the Boundary Waters executive director said they are grateful the BWCA will be protected.
So this is really a significant move in terms of really stepping towards solidifying protections that protect sustainable economies, sustainable livelihoods, the small businesses of Ely, Grand Marais, Tofte, etc.
Despite blocking a project that could play a major role in the federal government's goal of using domestically sourced minerals to reach the clean energy goals, the Biden administration made it clear today they consider the Boundary Waters a unique area worth protecting. But Representative Pete Stauber, a Republican representing northern Minnesota in Washington, says the decision is hypocritical.
You know, mining is our past, our present, and our future. And Joe Biden just attacked our way of life, banning 225,000 acres of mineral-rich mining in the biggest copper nickel find in the world. Really took away multi-generational union jobs.
Stauber says along with copper nickel mining, the ban also includes taconite mining proposals. We asked if Stauber knew of any iron ore mining companies looking to build there, but he did not directly answer that part of the question. Stauber says he plans to challenge this decision. We reached out to Twin Metals, hoping to learn more about what comes next on their end. While they didn't directly comment on that, company spokesperson did say they are committed to enforcing Twin Metal rights. They added this region includes the critical mining minerals vital to reaching the nation's clean energy goals and building things like wind and solar power and electrical vehicles. But Save the Boundary Waters representatives countered that, saying that there aren't enough minerals to make a big enough dent in the nation's needs. Well, of course, we will of course continue following this story and bring any updates as they come in.
Thank you, Cara. By the way, the order does not affect 2 other proposed copper-nickel mining projects in our region. Both the Polymet mine near Babbitt and the Talon Metals mine near Tamarack are in different watersheds.